Hey guys, okay, I really need to just invest in a tripod because it is morning right now, therefore my lighting is really weird if I sit in front of my bookshelf, and I don't have anywhere to put my camera if I stand. So here we are. Welcome to another episode of Paige Wants to Read a ton of books, and she knows that she won't, but she wants to talk about the books she wants to read anyways. And a really ambitious goal for her that she knows she's not going to reach. If you want to see that content, you are in the right place. It's so funny because I completely butchered my spring TBR. I think I maybe read a third of those books. I don't even have a lot of those books on my physical TBR. But we aren't going to talk about that. We're going to say that I have until the end of May to finish my spring TBR, which I'm only going to read one more book on it, so I don't know why I'm speaking that way. But that is not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to show you my summer TBR. And a lot of these books I do own physically, probably about half of them. And the other half I either have on hold as an audiobook or I'm planning to use a Spotify credit for the audiobook. So this time maybe I'll be more successful because there are not as many books as I need to buy. And a couple of them are also already on pre-order. So like I will have them by the end of the summer. Let me get my phone really quick, that way I don't forget the ones that I don't have in front of me, and then we will get started. All right. Also, I forgot to mention a couple of these are also rereads, so I know that I will be getting to those. If not over the summer, I will at some point this year. So that is not really an issue either. So let's start with the books that I do not physically have on hand. The first book that I want to talk about that is on my summer TBR is the next book I want to read on Spotify, which is The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. So I've read the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series and 5 Survive, so I think that's all of Holly Jackson's backlist minus Killjoy. And I enjoyed them. I don't think I enjoyed them as much as like other people did. And I've heard mixed things about The Reappearance of Rachel Price, but listen, it's been so long since I've read a young adult thriller or mystery that I think I'm just going to enjoy it either way. From what I understand, it is about a girl whose mom disappears and they're gonna film a crime documentary about it, and then once they start filming the documentary, the mom comes back. It's a very long book though. That audiobook is 16 hours. I don't know how you make a thriller, especially a young adult thriller, 16 hours, but we will see. We will see. I am keeping an open mind. The next book on my summer TBR, I don't know if I'll actually get to it because I'm scared of how spicy it is, but it is Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. It is described as a very Wattpad-ish romance, and it's also very long. I DNF'd Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh, and I'm worried that this is going to be the adult version of that. But it is a college romance, and it is very highly praised. It is a sports romance. I don't even know if I've ever read a sports romance. So we'll see if I end up reading that book. That is very iffy, but we'll see. The next book on my TBR will definitely be read as soon as it gets to my house, and that is Reckless by Lauren Roberts. I have already pre-ordered that book from Barnes & Noble because Barnes & Noble likes to run sales on their pre-orders just to convince you to order them from them and not from Amazon, because even though they send them out like a week late and Amazon gives you day of delivery. Sorry, I just ranted about Barnes & Noble pre-orders. I hate Barnes & Noble pre-orders unless I'm pre-ordering the special edition. That's my hot take. Reckless is the second book to Powerless. I'm about to start reading Powerful by Lauren Roberts. By the time this video comes out, you will know my thoughts on it because this will probably come out after my May recap. I am super excited to have Kai and Pei back on the front, back on center stage, and I cannot wait to see more of their romance. If you know what happened at the very end of Powerless, I don't know if it was just in the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition or not, like if it was like a bonus chapter or something, but if you know what happened in that last chapter, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see where Reckless goes. The next book is Funny Story by Emily Henry. I've heard really good things about this book because it's Emily Henry, and I feel like I rated Happy Place a 4.25, and I feel like it just left kind of a bad taste in my mouth but I was also reading, I don't think I read the book at the right time, so I'm saving Funny Story for the summer. I'm hoping I can buy it and take it on one of my beach trips with me because I'm going to the beach a couple times over the summer, so I'm hoping I can just do that. This book has like, it really is a funny story from what I understand. Both of them are dating these two people, and these two people are like they're both engaged, and then their partners break off the engagement to go marry each other because they've been childhood best friends. So the two partners are left in a forced proximity roommate situation, and it goes from there. I've heard really interesting things about Miles. I've heard that Miles is not your typical book boyfriend, but I'm actually kind of excited for that because honestly, book boyfriends, they are not realistic. Let's be real. And especially with me being like 18, I'm sure Miles represents how most guys around my age act. So I'm kind of excited about that. I don't know if it'll be a 5-star or not, but I am really hoping that I will enjoy it. It's Emily Henry. I have high expectations, but I don't have unrealistic expectations. We have the final book of the Inheritance Games coming out, I think at the end of July. I am so excited. It is The Grandest Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I read this entire series last year, between the spring and the summer, and I am so excited to get more of Avery and the brothers. They are just such an amazing group of characters in general, and these books are so fun. Like, I would read pretty much anything about these characters as long as they're solving something because it's just so fun. Jennifer Lynn Barnes, her brain just is so fun. The next book is also an audiobook that I have on hold that says it will be available in like a couple weeks, and that is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I don't know a lot about this book. I just know that it has a ocean on the cover and it takes place in the 1980s. I'm pretty sure it's like a book about siblings. I may be wrong on that. Their dad is like famous or something. It's a part of the same series that Daisy Jones and the Six and the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, it's in that series. I don't really know what to expect with that book because I've heard really good things and really bad things. So I'm hoping that it'll just be a nice thing to listen to while I'm driving somewhere because I can't read in the car. So I'm hoping I can just listen to it while we are road tripping this summer. The next book, I have a video idea for this book and one of the other books on this list, and that is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I don't know how to say his last name, so we're gonna say Michaelides. It has been one of those thrillers that every time I see it in Barnes, I'm like, oh, I need to go pick it up. The only thing deterring me from that is that it's $18 and I don't want to spend $18 on a book. Even though I do that all the time. You guys know that I do that all the time because you watch me go and buy books. Anyways, The Silent Patient is a OG thriller, like book talk, whatever. The twist is supposed to be insane. Almost everyone rates it 5 stars. I'm excited to read it, and it's one of those thrillers that I just can't wait to read, but I just keep putting it off. The next book, this I think is the only repeat from my spring TBR moving to my summer TBR, and that is When in Rome by Sarah Adams. I actually have the audiobook on hold with Libby, that way I don't have to use a Spotify credit for it. So this will definitely be listened to. I feel like I've talked about this book quite a bit, but it is a small town romance in Rome, Kentucky. I don't have a ton of experience with small town books, but the small town books that I have read have been some of my favorite romances, or I love the small town aspect. So I'm hoping that, especially since this book has no spice, because I didn't like Flawless because of that reason. Since this book has no spice, I'm really hoping that I will thoroughly enjoy this book. Okay, so we have 2 more books that I don't own physically. The next one is a novel love story by Ashley Poston. Ashley Poston is the author of The 7-Year Slip, which I rated a 4.75, almost a 5. It was just lacking that 5-star feeling. Perfect book, just didn't give me that 5-star feeling. And a novel love story, I could be wrong on this. I don't have the summary in front of me, but I think it's about these 2 characters, and they somehow end up within the plot of a romance book. I know that sounds like I'm like over explaining a romance book, but I think it's the two characters within the book end up inside the plot of another book. Like, because Ashley Poston is really good with magical realism, so it's something where they end up inside a book. I'm pretty sure, like, they end up inside a world of a book. I'm over explaining this. I'm going to shut up now. I am so excited for this book. This book is also on pre-order. Her covers are absolutely beautiful, and the way that she does magical realism and everything like that is so amazing, and I cannot wait to read this book. I think it comes out at the end of June. The last book that I do not have physically before we get into the books that are on my physical TBR is Rereads by Marissa Meyer. Again, this is an audiobook that I have on hold. I listened to the What She's Reading, what's it called? I'll Read What She's Reading podcast, and I think it's Kennedy. Kennedy talks really highly of the Rereads. It's either Kennedy or Michaela one. They talked really highly of the Rereads trilogy, and I went through and I watched all the Marvel movies in the middle of COVID. So Marvel itself is just a very nostalgic thing for me because I watched all of them like in that pivotal point in my life, I guess, and I am really hoping that I'm going to like that in book form. And I really enjoyed Legend by Marie Lu, and from what I've heard about Rereads, like the young adult superhero aspect, it kind of reminds me of Legend. That's what I picture in my head. So, and I'm hoping that also listening to it as an audiobook will give it, like, will make it feel more similar to Marvel movies, if that makes sense. Alright, now on to my physical TBR. The first book that I have is Some Shall Break by Ellie Marney. This is the sequel to None Shall Sleep by Ellie Marney, which I read, I think, in 2022. So None Shall Sleep was about these two, like a girl and a guy, and it was like teenagers working for the FBI, kind of like The Naturals. Like, she had survived like a kidnapping, and he had been in some kind of situation with his dad where, like, some kind of hostage situation where like his dad was killed or something. And so the FBI took them in because they have been in similar situations before, and they're working to solve this serial murder case. I don't remember a lot besides that, but this is a sequel. I'm pretty sure that one of them actually gets kidnapped, but yeah, I don't know a ton about this book. I just know that it's been on my TBR since I first saw, like my mental TBR since I first saw it in Barnes, and I finally picked it up. So do with that what you will. The next book is Little White Lies by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I read The Naturals last summer, and I do not, as much as I would love to go through and read the entire Naturals series again, I don't have time for that. So this is a duology by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and I haven't heard a lot about it, and what I have heard, I've heard it's like not as good as her other two series. But Jennifer Lynn Barnes writes really short chapters, really quick-paced stories, so I'm hoping that I can get that out of this book, and I may even just read both of them over the summer. So this is the only one I have on my shelf right now, but just consider it being both of these on my summer TBR. And this is also like takes place in like Southern high society. You take place in the South and like you have Southern aspects to you. I will probably enjoy the story just that much more. This is the book that I was talking about I want to put in a video earlier with The Silent Patient. You can probably figure out what video I want to film with the two of these. But this is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. This is a book that I have put off reading just because I don't like the cover. Like, the cover is not my favorite thing in the world. But this is like an OG romance, and I have heard nothing but good things about this book. I've heard that both of the characters are a little bit bookish, and it's childhood friends to lovers, and it's just apparently the epitome of a very sweet romance. So, and it's also very summery. I think it takes place during the summer. So I'm excited to read this book. I feel like I've said that about every book. I don't know what you guys want me to say. I am struggling to transition these right now. Hopefully I'm not boring you. I haven't even had my caffeine yet. Maybe I don't need caffeine. I just have this energy. Don't know where it came from. This book is actually a Wattpad book. Like, Say You Swear isn't a real Wattpad book, but this actually was originally published on Wattpad, and that is Float by Kate Marchant. This is a beach read, a young adult beach read. There's really nothing else I need to say about this. I'm pretty sure the girl wrote this when she was like 15 or 16, and like she finished it and published it when she was a little bit older. So I've actually heard I haven't really seen this book rated below a 4-star. So I'm kind of excited to see where this book goes. The Storied Life of A.J. Thickery. This is a book that I just randomly picked up. I cannot believe I spent $18 on a book that is literally less than 300 pages. That is very unlike me. But I went on a shopping spree last week. Don't ask me questions, please, and thank you. Originally, I was going to read Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin first. And I just didn't get around to it. And then I ended up buying this book because I just have this vision of me reading this book on the beach. This will be coming with me on my first beach trip, and this will be the first book that I read on that trip. I don't really know a lot about this book. I'm pretty sure it centers around a guy and it's the story of his life, but it's told in a lot of miniature short stories. So Haley Pham rated this book 5 stars. It does not sound like something that I would enjoy, but apparently it's a very nice beach read. Maybe it even takes place on the beach. I can't remember, but apparently it's a nice beach read. Fable by Adrienne Young. I purely bought this book because of the cover. Can you not tell me that this cover is absolutely gorgeous and amazing, and I want to look like this girl in real life. I'm literally getting my hair dyed this color. Like, what? I'm a little bit obsessed with this cover. This is my favorite cover that I have on my bookshelf. All of that set aside, Adrienne Young is the author of The Unmaking of June Farrow, which is my first 5-star of the year, and I'm obsessed with that book. I still don't own a physical copy. I need to buy a physical copy. I'm just too lazy to spend money on a book that I've already read. I was hesitant about buying this book, but eventually I was just like, I will buy it because of the cover, and I think I'm just being prejudiced against it for no reason, because this is a pirate book, and I'm pretty sure like her dad is a pirate and she gets stranded on an island. That doesn't, like, pirates in books has never really sounded like something that I want to read. It just has never sounded appealing to me, but I'm gonna give this a chance, and I'm hoping that I will enjoy it, because if I don't enjoy a book with a cover that looks like this, I don't know how I'm going to live my life anymore, because I judge books by their cover. So if I don't enjoy this book with how beautiful the cover is, girl, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But also I'm hoping that Pirates in the Middle of Summer will be a little bit better than like Pirates in like the middle of winter or something. I'm hoping that that will help bump up the rating a little bit. Well, that is all that's on my summer TBR, like, that I haven't read yet, obviously. I do have 2 rereads that I want to get done this summer, and that is Daisy Jones and the Six and Beach Read by Emily Henry. This is by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Both of these books I want to go through with a pen and a highlighter and some tabs and read them and just thoroughly enjoy them again. This book I'm hoping that I will be able to read on the beach, but I may take it on my road trip this year instead, because I read it on my road trip last year. I read People Leaving on Vacation on the beach, not beach read. So, but this will definitely be read on vacation. This I read in August of last year, so this may get pushed out to August again this year. But yeah, and that is my entire summer TBR. I feel like it is a little bit longer than my spring TBR, but I also feel like I have more time to read. I don't have to worry about finals or anything, and I also just feel like summer in my brain is longer than spring. And I don't move into college until middle of August. So I have until then, in my head, I have until then to finish my summer TBR. I may extend it to Labor Day. But here's the thing about this TBR versus the last one. I genuinely think that I can finish this TBR minus Say You Swear. That's the only book that I'm iffy on. The rest of these, I really do feel like I can read all of them. But that's just me right now. We'll see what me in 3 or 4 months says. Alright, well, hopefully that was semi-entertaining for you. I am going to now go get my coffee and probably potentially edit this video. I don't know, we'll see. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I love you so much, and I guess I'll just see you when I see you.